This video was made in partnership with Newbie, who are just as obsessed with movies as we are. We still can't believe they're gone. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Marvel deaths that still hurt.
I'm going to miss him.
Yeah,
We were friends, you know.
For this list, we're looking at the saddest deaths that have occurred in theatrically released Marvel films. To paraphrase Thanos, there will be no resurrections today. So any Marvel characters who died, came back to life, and are still alive as of late 2019 will not be considered. If you haven't seen every Marvel film, beware of sad spoilers ahead.
just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Number 10. Vision, Avengers Infinity War.
But now is no time to mourn. Now is no time at all.
While Vision was made up of a synthetic body, artificial intelligence, and the Mind Stone, it was the stone that kept him alive. His life was focused on helping others and kindling a relationship with fellow Avenger Wanda Maximoff, until Thanos arrived. Knowing Thanos wanted the Mind Stone for a plot to kill half the universe, Vision begged Wanda to destroy it. She refuses several times before she tearfully agrees. As Vision tells Wanda he loves her, the Mind Stone and our hearts break. The most depressing part is that Thanos was able to reverse time and get the stone anyway. Although Vision's sacrifice didn't stop Thanos, it will never be forgotten. Number 9. Pietro Maximoff, Quicksilver, Avengers Age of Ultron.
You didn't see that coming?
Pietro Maximoff originally teamed up with the robotic Ultron to take the Avengers down. Using his powers of super speed, he furthered his allies' plot while annoying Hawkeye.
Keep up, old man.
Nobody would know. Nobody.
But once Pietro realized how twisted Ultron was, he helped the Avengers unplug the robot. Pietro's speed allowed him to rescue people in seconds and literally run through enemy forces. But when Ultron fires artillery at the heroes, Pietro wasn't fast enough to move Hawkeye out of the way. Instead, he shields Hawkeye by running in front of the bullets. Pietro's shocking death was a gut punch to his allies and our expectations. Just when it seemed like he'd have a long hero career, his time was cut short. Number 8. Aaron Davis, Prowler, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
You're the best of all of us, Miles. You're on your way. Just keep going.
Within the first half hour of Into the Spider-Verse, we witnessed the tragic passing of Peter Parker's Spider-Man. But the film's most heart-wrenching death is reserved for Miles Morales' uncle Aaron. It's established early on that the nephew and uncle share almost everything with each other.
Hey. You sure you my nephew, man?
But before Miles reveals he's the new Spider-Man, he learns that Aaron is the supervillain Prowler. When they're forced to fight one another, Miles reveals his true identity. The revelation causes Aaron to stop attacking. When his boss Kingpin realizes Spider-Man is being shown mercy, Kingpin fatally shoots Aaron. Miles is ultimately left alone with his uncle's body, feeling responsible for his death.
Uncle Aaron. This is my fault.
Number 7. Gwen Stacy, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Stay with me, stay with me. Stay with me, stay with me.
The strong relationship between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy was the best part of the Amazing Spider-Man saga. No matter what hardships tried to tear them apart, they always came back together. Their love story came to a devastating end in the second film. During a fight with the Green Goblin, Gwen falls from a high point in a clock tower. Peter immediately leaps into action and tries to catch her with his web. But just as his web reaches her, Gwen's head hits the ground. Peter repeatedly tells her she's okay before realizing he was too late. The image of Peter crying over Gwen's body still haunts us. Number 6. Gamora, Avengers Infinity War.
Come, let me help you.
When Gamora was a child, Thanos killed half of her people before adopting her as his own daughter. As she grew to openly resent him, he secretly grew to love her. So when Thanos had to throw a loved one off a cliff to acquire the Soul Stone, he heartbreakingly chose Gamora.
Tears.
They're not for him.
Although she tries to fight back, Thanos overpowers her and throws her off the edge. The look of disbelief and anguish on her face mirrored exactly what the audience was feeling. Gamora had been at the mercy of Thanos for almost her entire life. Seeing her sacrificed for his twisted goals felt like an unfair ending for her tortured character. At least there's another version of the character out there.
Touch. You missed the first time.
Number 5. Charles Xavier, Professor X, Logan.
The new quesalupa from Taco Bell. Get it with chicken, get it with steak, but with the cheese baked right in the shell. It's the next big thing.
After mutant Professor Charles Xavier develops a neurological disease, he starts losing memories and control of his powers. Knowing the professor's abilities could hurt innocents, Logan planned to buy a boat that would get them away from people. But their plans are interrupted when they become targets of a corporation that creates and clones mutants. While on the run, Charles tearfully remembers hurting people with his powers. After unknowingly confessing his guilt to Logan's clone, the clone stabs Charles. Having the professor be killed by someone that looks like his friend was agonizing to watch. As the final twist of the knife, Charles's last words to Logan are all about the boat they plan to buy.
Our boat.
What?
The Sunseeker.
Number 4. Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, Avengers Endgame.
Last 5 years I've been trying to do one thing, get to right here. That's all it's been about, bringing everybody back.
5 years after Thanos ended countless lives, the Avengers hatch a plan to bring the victims back with Infinity Stones. Natasha and her close friend Clint choose to get the Soul Stone. When they arrive, they learn that one must let the other fall to their death to get the stone. But they both volunteer. Unable to let the other go, Clint and Natasha fight to choose who will make the sacrifice. In the end, Natasha overcomes Clint and asks him to let her go. He tries to hold on, but Natasha makes the ultimate sacrifice, and our hearts sank as she fell.
Let me go.
No.
Although Natasha lost her life, her soul lives on in the countless amount of lives that she helped save. Number 3. Yondu Udonta, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm sorry I didn't do none of it right. I'm damn lucky you're my boy.
At first glance, Yondu doesn't seem like he was a good father figure to Peter Quill. After all, he did kidnap Peter at a young age before forcing him into a life of crime. But it turned out that kidnapping Peter kept him away from his homicidal father for 2 decades. Shortly after Star-Lord meets his biological father, the two fight on a planet that gets destroyed.
You people have issues. Well, of course I have issues. That's my freaking father!
Yondu helps Peter escape the destruction by flying the two into space with a jetpack. But since he only has one holographic spacesuit, he gives up the suit and his life so Peter can survive. There wasn't a dry eye in the house when this daddy used his last moments to comfort his grieving son.
Oh, come! No! No! Oh, no!
Number 2. Logan, Wolverine, Logan.
They'll keep coming. You don't have to fight anymore.
For centuries, Logan's fast healing powers enabled him to survive any fight. When his abilities begin to slow down, Logan tries to avoid battles. He's forced to fight again, however, upon discovering that he has a daughter named Laura who needs protection from mercenaries. Logan overcomes most of their forces while bonding with his daughter. But when they send Logan's younger clone into the fight, the clone ends up impaling the original on a tree. Although Laura shoots X-24 down, it's too late. Logan can only encourage Laura to have a peaceful life before he passes away.
Don't be what they made you.
We wish his healing factor could have kicked into overdrive to give him another quiet moment with his daughter. I know we eliminated stuff like this via the criteria, but am I the only one still feeling the Spider-Man snap disintegration? I mean, I know he came back and everything, but it breaks my heart every time I see that scene. Well, I think number 1 on this list is as inevitable as Thanos, so let's check out these honorable mentions before we mourn the loss of our top pick.
We'll never be.
None of that matters, Peter. You're my friend. Best friend.
Where is the ether?
I'll never tell you.
I believe you.
You'd think after all this time I'd be ready. But look at me, stretching one moment out into 1,000, just so that I can watch the snow.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Tony Stark, Iron Man, Avengers Endgame.
You can rest now.
As Earth tried to cope with losing half the population to Thanos' snap, Tony Stark made a happy life for his daughter Morgan. When Tony's fellow Avengers ask him to help undo the snap through time travel, he agrees with a condition: he cannot lose his little girl. When the Avengers return from time with the Infinity Stones, Thanos follows them and tries to use the stones for a second snap.
I am inevitable.
It's Tony who decimates the Mad Titan, however, with a snap of his fingers.
And I am Iron Man.
Unfortunately, Tony's actions damage his body beyond repair. Seeing a character we loved for 11 years pass away and leave his friends and young daughter behind is almost too painful to put into words. We'll always love you 3000, Tony.
I love you 3000.
This video was made in partnership with Nuvi, who are just as obsessed with movies as we are.